Hello, thank you for watching this training presentation on the Dispersibility Assessment Kit for Oil Spill Response Vessels. This presentation is 15 minutes long and serves as a supplement to the laminated instructions contained within the kit. Always remember safety first. Please be sure to use all required PPE, including life jackets, protective eyewear, and gloves when working with samples. This kit is intended for use on a response vessel to provide a rapid indication of the dispersibility of spilled surface oil at a response. The method developed for this dispersibility assessment kit is similar to other methods developed previously. While past methods have included hand shaking of oil and dispersant, this new kit uses an automated mixing system which reduces variability between different users. The kit is designed to be conducted by non-science personnel on an OSRO vessel at sea. The results from the kit are communicated to the incident command and may serve as one of the inputs into the overall decision-making process for the appropriate use of dispersants during a spill. There is no need to take notes during this presentation since laminated kit instructions are stored within the case. When you initially receive this kit, you will need to add dispersant from your stockpile. The kit contains 2 vials, allowing your organization to carry more than one dispersant product, if needed, from your local stockpile. When you fill the vial, select from the assortment of labels provided in the kit and affix the label onto the vial. Once filled, be sure to record the stockpile source information and the date the vial is filled. Once filled and labeled, place the vial into the resealable bag provided before loading into the designated foam cutout in the case. Again, please be sure to wear all required PPE when working on deck and handling oil or dispersant. Also, be sure to follow your vessel procedures for the proper disposal of any oil or oily waste generated while conducting this test. Ask your captain for guidance if you are unsure. And while you are only working with a few milliliters of oil to conduct this test, make sure you are in a well-ventilated interior shipboard space. Note that the shaker unit included with this kit should not be used outside on the ship deck. Finally, as is always the case when working around oil, be sure to keep your distance from food or beverages. For security reasons, this kit is shipped with 2 padlocks. Dial in the word BOAT, B-O-A-T, to open each lock. One of the first steps in the instruction is to collect a clean seawater sample outside of the slick. So while the vessel is transiting out to sea, you should have time to review the 2 laminated sheets. The first sheet, shown on the left, provides a photo inventory of all kit contents on one side and a reordering sheet with website information for replacing items over time. The second sheet, shown on the right, contains the step-by-step instructions which you should read in its entirety before beginning. We suggest you carry this sheet with you while conducting the test as a guide to ensure you complete each step correctly. This test can be completed in less than 30 minutes and even less time if 2 people work together. The Pelican case which houses this kit was designed to protect its contents in rough conditions. When you open the kit, you will see 2 stacks of adsorbent pads, shown in the small image above. Once you remove the pads and set them aside, the remainder of the kit contents is visible, as shown in this main image. We recommend keeping the kit on the floor so it does not fall if encountering rough sea conditions. You should already be familiar with the kit contents when you filled the 2 dispersant vials and inserted them into the 2 foam cutouts marked with a J. Spend a few minutes familiarizing yourself with the various components. Remove the shaker unit and place on a table near an interior power supply. This unit has suction cups on the bottom, which will allow you to firmly secure it to the surface. Place an adsorbent pad in front of the unit and tape a second adsorbent pad to the back of the unit as shown in this photo. This will create a white backdrop which allows for the best viewing of the flasks when the test is over. The shaker unit has 1 button. Press once, then turn the dial to set the RPM to 200. Press again to set the mixing time to 2 minutes. Note that these settings will likely already be set as the unit memorizes past settings and was set with these inputs before shipping. You must press and hold the button for 2 seconds for the unit to start mixing. You will see the RPM increase over a few seconds until it reaches 200 RPM. After testing that the unit will start, be sure to turn it off again by pressing the button while you continue to remove the supplies. In step 5, you will remove a 1 milliliter plunger syringe, 1 dispersant vial of whichever product that you would potentially be using if dispersant approval is granted, and a pair of gloves. Now that you have prepared the test area inside, it is time to head outside to collect a clean seawater sample. Collect the items listed in step 6 and head to the deck. The collapsible bucket is easily expanded into shape. Once you have a full bucket of clean seawater, remember to record the lat long of the collection site on the log sheet. You may find it helpful to take a photo of the GPS screen in the wheelhouse, but make sure you immediately transfer that lat long data onto the log sheet. Then measure and record the seawater temperature using the included thermometer. The hydrometer, which is the clear gauge pictured below, can be fully submerged into the bucket to fill it. Then read the salinity of the seawater where the white dial is pointing. Freshwater has a salinity of 0, and full-strength seawater will be approximately 35 parts per thousand. Use the clean seawater that you have just collected to fill 2 flasks that you brought to the deck. You can dip the flask into the bucket to fill it roughly to the 150 milliliter line etched on the side, as shown in this video clip. Use the 3 milliliter pipette to make minor additions or subtractions of seawater until the volume is precisely at 150 milliliters, as shown in the bottom 3 photos. Be sure to secure the caps on both flasks and carry everything inside except the bucket, which you should leave on deck. Now it is time to reposition the vessel into the slick and collect a small oil sample. Remember to record the lat long of the collection site on the log sheet. There are many ways to collect the sample, so steps 11 to 13 are one suggested method. You may have other means of collecting an oil sample, such as a bottle connected to a stick. Take the items listed in step 11 to the deck in preparation for collecting an oil sample. There are 2 buckets included in this kit, so that you can keep clean seawater in one bucket and use the second bucket for oil collection. Deploy the bucket overboard into the slick and haul to the deck. Use an aluminum weigh boat to carefully skim oil off the surface of the bucket, as shown on the left. The objective is to collect an oil sample into the small aluminum weigh boat, pictured below, without any underlying seawater, to ensure that only oil, not an oil-water mixture, is measured and dispensed into the flask. If you do have oil and water, poke a small hole in the bottom of one aluminum pan to drain out the water. Then transfer the remaining oil only into a second pan, as shown in the 3 middle photos. If the oil is thick or emulsified, use the included wooden spatula to scrape the oil into the pan, as shown in the photo to the right. Now that you have collected oil, you will carefully measure 2 milliliters of oil out of the aluminum weigh boat using the 3 milliliter syringe. Dispense the 2 milliliters of oil onto the water surface of the 2 flasks that you previously filled with seawater. The photo on the right shows how the syringe filled with 2 milliliters of oil should look. Note that the plunger itself is black, so be sure that the oil is drawn to the 2 milliliter line, as shown by this yellow arrow. When carrying the flasks, which now have oil on them, minimize any shaking which can strand oil on the glass wall of the flask. This includes being careful when inserting the flasks into the metal flask holders. Once you have placed both flasks into the shaker unit, rotate them so that the label can be clearly seen from the front. The flasks may spin a bit during the upcoming mixing phase, so they are labeled on both sides for ease of reading the labels. Now it is time to add dispersant to the flask labeled as oil and dispersant. Use the 1 milliliter syringe by filling to 0.1 milliliter of dispersant, as shown by this yellow arrow. Slowly dispense the dispersant onto different locations of the oil surface, taking care not to touch the oil with the syringe. Note that this volume of dispersant equates to a dispersant to oil ratio of 1 to 20. Be sure to reattach the flask lids. Before you start the mixing unit, have your phone or tablet ready to record the test. Remember that this video and any associated photographs will become part of a legal record, so use your company-issued device rather than a personal cell phone. These 3 videos show the initiation of mixing, videotaping the mixing, and a close-up of the mixing action. In the last video, note how the undispersed oil shown in the left flask has very large droplets mixing into the seawater, versus the dispersed oil shown in the right flask, which has rapidly formed very small oil droplets that have mixed throughout the full volume of seawater. For this specific test, the oil has dispersed. However, this may not always be the case, which is the reason why this test has been developed. The shaker will automatically stop after 2 minutes of mixing. The flasks should then settle for 1 minute before you capture the final image of the test. As you can see in these images, the white backdrop makes it much easier to view the results of the test. Try to take close-up video or photographs of the flask to provide clear images to the scientists at Incident Command who will interpret these visual images. Be sure to email these images to the Incident Command as soon as the test is finished. Also, complete the log sheet, photograph it, and send it along with any other photos or videos recorded. As mentioned previously, the oil used during this field exercise event was a fresh dispersible oil. However, not all oils are dispersible. The results from 6 different tests on different oils, both fresh and emulsified, are shown here. Each test results in 2 images. The untreated oil is shown on the left and the dispersant-treated oil to its right. Note how the test results for 2 oils on the left side of the screen show a very good indication of dispersibility. The 2 pairs of images on the right side of the screen are of a light Louisiana crude oil 3-day emulsion, top right, and 7-day emulsion of the same oil, bottom right. Note how the dispersant-treated 7-day weathered emulsion is less cloudy, indicating poor dispersibility, versus the 3-day weathered emulsion pictured above it. In a test run where the oil plus dispersant flask does not appear to disperse, the Incident Command may request a secondary testing of that oil plus dispersant mixture to determine how the mixture may behave in a larger open pan of seawater. This optional secondary test equipment has been provided in the kit and instructions. At a future date, this training material may be revised to include photos and videos of this optional step. As a review, this dispersibility assessment kit is meant to support real-time, incident-specific operational decisions by providing an indication if the spilled oil is dispersible prior to the full-scale mobilization of dispersant assets. The kit is not intended as an efficacy test, nor is it meant to replace existing practices such as a dispersant test spray application. This presentation is intended as supplemental information to the laminated kit instructions contained within the case. The kit can accommodate up to 2 different dispersant products, and those products should be replaced every few years, depending on your local stockpile testing. While the kit is simple to use, we suggest incorporating the use of this kit into a future exercise so that all members of your team can become familiar with its use. We would like to thank Clean Gulf Associates for the use of their response vessel where this training material was developed. We also want to thank the crews of both Clean Gulf Associates and Marine Spill Response Corporation, who helped us test this kit in field conditions and who assisted in the development of training instructions. Your assistance was immensely valuable. We thank you.